Welcome back to my channel. Today I will show you a movie from 2013 titled The Man of Steel. Watch out and enjoy the movie. A planet is viewed at the start of the film where the awkward creatures dwell. That planet's name is Krypton, and the inhabitants of that planet were worried because Krypton was gradually rooting out. There, a baby comes into life in the house of a couple. The name of the baby's father was Jor-El. He was also upset because of his planet's condition. He wanted to get the genetic codex of his planet, which means a thing that had the DNA of the planet with all sorts of information. Employing it, another planet could be populated like this planet. He goes to the Supreme Council for this cause and demands the genetic codex from them, saying, "I want to save this planet." But they do not give him the genetic codex. Then, the general appears there with his troops. He was hearing all, so he fires his gun on the council's member. Actually, he was also in pursuit of the genetic codex. He was evil-minded. He wanted that if they transfer the inhabitants of their planet to another, then the inhabitants of the other planet should be ended. But Jor-El's thought was different. He wanted that all live as being united. There's a great fight between them, arguing this issue. Somehow, Jor-El comes outside. Then he calls his pet dragon and leaves that place, riding on it. Jor-El goes in search of the genetic codex, and the general also approaches there after him. He also attempts to attack him at that place, but Jor-El's dragon rescues him from there, getting the injury itself. Jor-El had gotten that genetic codex luckily. Anyhow, he hands over that codex to his wife after coming there, and he says, "Take it and infuse its DNA in our son because the planet Krypton is going to destroy." Jor-El says, "I had known from the beginning that our son is not an ordinary one. He possesses many capabilities. We will have to rescue him so he may get a good rank after growing." Then they send him far in a spacecraft. Jor-El had also kept a key with his wife. Being sentimental, Jor-El's wife begins to weep. Then the general again approaches there, and he kills Jor-El after attacking him many times. It was a great mishap. Now he proceeds towards the spacecraft so he may attack it after stopping it. But Krypton's council gets this news. This council sends a fighter instantly to stop him. The spacecraft is prevented from any damage. When the council's members know about it, that they killed Jor-El, then they imprison him as a punishment at a place. On the other side, the baby's spacecraft is shown, which had landed on the planet Earth. And Krypton with its inhabitants was destroying there. Now the story moves to the current time. That a fisherman named Clark is shown on a ship. He also possessed superhuman abilities. There is an aircraft that is crashing nearby. Clark immediately reaches there, and rescuers also appear there. Meantime, the tower is going to fall, but Clark stops it from falling, using his full powers. But that aircraft explodes, and as a result, Clark also falls into the water. He begins to remember his past when he was a baby. The type of capabilities he possessed, he could look at the parts of things and hear sounds coming from a distance. He was also mighty. Once his school bus had fallen into the water, and he had brought his school bus and the kids out of the water. He himself did not know at that time how he did it. Clark's father used to say to him, "Look, son, I know that you possess superhuman abilities, but understand, my son, don't demonstrate it before the world. Worldly people gossip about it, so you had to keep your powers secret." So he began to serve as a waiter in a hotel. He was fond of traveling and discovering novel things. One day, he comes to know in his hotel by someone that an old scout ship had been discovered at a place that belonged to 20,000 years ago. Knowing this, Clark's interest is developed in it, and he thinks to visit there. There was also a news reporter named Lois. She had also visited here because she was also in search of an enticing thing. That reporter begins to take photos of that location as night falls, and she notices a man in the photos. He was no one else but Clark, who was flashing a laser light from his eyes to find out the scout ship, and he was also melting the lying ice on the mountains. He searches for that scout ship favorably. There is a module in that scout ship. Clark had a strange key, and he activates the central computer by keying it, where he is able to communicate with his father Jor-El, who says to Clark, "My son, you came." Clark says, "How are you talking about?" Jor-El tells him, "We all used to inhabit the Krypton planet. You are my son. Your mother and I sent you to this planet when the Krypton planet was destroying. If there is my concern, I was killed in the greed of genetic codex by someone." He also reveals all about the genetic codex. He tells that he had matched Clark's DNA with the genetic codex DNA before sending him. So he possesses many superhuman abilities. Jor-El tells Clark that he can use his powers perfectly, and he also provides a costume for it. That reporter girl, Lois, is also witnessing all. She begins to take photos of that artificial intelligence model coming inside, but that artificial intelligence model attacks her. Consequently, she falls down. Then Clark brings her outside, lifting her up, and then Clark leaves, taking that scout ship. The reporter was shocked how any scout ship may be here. She goes to the supervisor of that news company where she used to perform her job. She suggests, "We should publish this news article." The supervisor says, "I don't think so. It is not sure. Just stop it here." But that reporter, Lois, wanted to share this news with someone, so she shares it with another news reporter. On the other side, it is seen that Clark had turned into Superman. He was flying in space without any fear. He wished to challenge everything fearlessly. Then that reporter, Lois, is shown who had reached Clark's house, taking his dress, meeting his mother. She also visits the grave of his father. Clark also approaches there, saying, "Why are you chasing me?" Lois tells him, "Because you look so awkward to me. Why are you hiding your superhuman abilities from the world?" Clark says to her, "Come, I will reveal a memorable incident of my life to you." He tells her, "One day, I was going with my father and mother somewhere. There was also our dog with us, but a big storm broke out there. That tornado was engulfing everything. We all got out of the car, but our dog was left inside. My father went to rescue it, but he got trapped. I wanted to help him. I could save him if I wanted, but he forbade me and gestured to stay away. He said, 'Never reveal your superhuman abilities to anyone.' I couldn't go near him, so the tornado took him away. He is no longer here today, but I still remember his advice. Why should I reveal my superhuman powers to the world if I couldn't save him?" Then she says, "You are doing well for the world. Carry on." Going to his mother, Clark says, "Mother, I have turned into Superman now. The secret has revealed to me why I was so strong from the very beginning." Hearing it, his mother begins to shed tears of happiness, but says, "Will you not go, leaving me?" Clark says, "What are you talking about? I will be with you." Then it is observed that soldiers had received some mysterious photos through satellite. The photos indicated that a spacecraft is moving towards the universe. They receive a message that an inhabitant of their planet is on Earth and they have come to take him away. If he is not returned, they will end Earth. Hearing this, everyone becomes worried, but they have to send Clark back for their safety. Contrarily, the supervisor of the news company reveals this news to everyone because it is no longer a secret. Then it is known that the general has also arrived on Earth from Krypton. Soldiers and many agents are searching for Superman. Superman does not want to create havoc because of him, so he presents himself to them. He is brought into a room and interrogated by Lois while conversing. There is an adjusted glass there, and the military is also listening to them from its backside. Clark says, "Going to that glass, you need not keep an eye on me. I give myself into custody for the security of all of you. Don't worry, just send me to them so that you may remain safe." They also learn through this conversation that he is not a bad man. Now Superman is brought into an open field where Krypton's planet inhabitants come to pick him up. They request that the military allows them to take Lois with them, but the military does not agree. Then Lois says, "Don't worry, let me go right now," and she accompanies them. Lois is imprisoned in a room after reaching the planet Krypton. Now General comes to Superman and says, "You also know that Krypton has been destroyed now. So I need to go to planet Earth to dwell there. Will you support me for this? Tell me where the genetic codex is." Superman says, "I don't know." Then the general says, "It means you want me to bring into existence a new Krypton by killing all of you. On the other side, Lois is shown in the chamber. She had the mysterious key of Clark given to her by him. She uses the key to activate the spacecraft, and Jor-El appears once again. He tells Lois, "I have made this spacecraft and am aware of its ways. Just do as I tell you." He comes outside, taking her, and they begin to attack the general's troops. General Military also attacks them. Somehow, Lois returns to her world through a spacecraft with the help of Jor-El. Now Jor-El goes to Superman and says, "You have enough power, why are you not using it? You can break the door of the spacecraft." Superman breaks the door with his full strength, comes outside, and feels even more powerful basking in the sunlight. Lois, who was traveling to the planet Earth in the spacecraft, experiences a spacecraft crash in space. Superman goes there instantly and rescues her, and they land on the ground safely. People are contented because both machines have been destroyed, and they believe they have survived. Then the general appears again and goes to Superman's mother. He asks her, "Tell me, where's your son?" And where's that genetic codex? He begins to harm her, and Superman appears there, saying, "How dare you touch my mother?" Taking him from there, he begins to fly speedily, and he strikes him in the polls. General had put on a specific dress. The great battle has started between them. Superman damages his helmet, which creates a problem in his breathing. Taking the opportunity, Superman is about to kill him. Then General troops attack him. They bring General back to the planet Krypton. The attendant of General tells him there that, "Just bring Superman here. It is my duty to extract the codex from his body. Either you may bring him dead or alive. I will extract the codex." Hearing it, General is pleased because he was not comfortable on the planet Earth. So he sends 2 machines there, releasing mysterious smoke, and that smoke was converting this planet's atmosphere like the Krypton planet. As a result, inhabitants are afraid because the atmosphere of their planet was changing due to them. Lois moves to the army chief and says, "It has been told to me by Jor-El that these machines can be destroyed if the spacecraft in which I traveled here is crashed into them." Then Superman says, "Coming there, yes, you can destroy this machine by striking it with the spacecraft, and I came back after destroying the second machine." Going there, Superman uses all his strength, and he ruins that machine. On the opposite side, Lois and the army chief are traveling in that spacecraft, but the main agent of General stops them. Coming there, the spacecraft where they are present, the pilot says, "I crashed my spacecraft into that machine. I don't care about my life, I just want to save the world." Saying it, he crashes that spacecraft into the machine, causing its destruction, but Lois falls down from it during this. She is still in the air, then Superman rescues her. Coming there, and they land on the ground as before. People were contented because of the destruction of both machines. They were pleased, thinking they have survived. Then General appears again. He says to Superman, "You spoiled my plan. I will finish you." Saying it, he attacks him, and a great fight starts between them. They enter a building while fighting. There, General begins to flash the same laser light from his eyes. He starts throwing this light on the innocent people in the building. There was a threat to their lives due to this. Superman forbids him much, but he does not stop. So Superman has to kill him reluctantly. He did not want to act as such, but he had to rescue the people. He begins to weep after killing him. After some time, it is seen that Superman, who is Clark, goes to Lois for an interview as a news reporter. Lois gives him a job and says to him while smiling, "Welcome to the new planet." The movie also ends on this scene. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoy the video. For more videos please like, share and subscribe.